Did you know that 77% of people experience physical symptoms of stress regularly? And often, this is a sign of burnout? Yes, you heard it right. Burnout, a term often brushed under the carpet, is a silent epidemic that has been affecting the masses in more ways than one. It's an overlooked crisis, silently seeping into our lives, our work, and our relationships. In our fast-paced world where we are incessantly chasing deadlines and juggling multiple roles, burnout is becoming increasingly common. It's like a creeping vine, gradually wrapping itself around our lives, squeezing the joy and vitality out of us. But what exactly is burnout? It's a state of chronic physical and emotional exhaustion, often accompanied by feelings of cynicism, detachment, and a sense of lack of accomplishment. It's like driving a car that's running out of gas, and instead of refueling, we keep pushing, hoping to reach the next milestone. Burnout doesn't discriminate. It can impact anyone, from the high-powered executive to the stay-at-home parent. It's not just about being tired or stressed, it's much more than that. It's a state of being where you feel empty, devoid of motivation, and beyond caring. The impact of burnout is far-reaching, affecting not just our work performance, but also our relationships and overall quality of life. It influences how we interact with others, how we perceive ourselves, and how we view the world around us. It can lead to serious health issues, including heart disease, depression, and a weakened immune system. Sadly, despite its prevalence and impact, burnout is often overlooked or misunderstood. Many people fail to recognize its signs or understand its severity, brushing it off as mere stress or fatigue. But burnout is not a phase or a badge of honor for working hard. It's a serious condition that requires attention and care. We live in a society that glorifies busyness, where taking a break is often seen as a sign of weakness. But it's high time we change this narrative. It's time we acknowledge burnout for what it is, a critical public health issue that demands our attention. So let's delve deeper into understanding burnout and its 30 signs. Because the first step towards combating a problem is recognizing it exists. Burnout isn't just exhaustion, it's a complex condition that spans across your emotional, physical, and mental well-being. It's like that old game of Jenga, where you keep pulling out one block after another until, inevitably, the whole tower collapses. Burnout is just like that. It's not a sudden event, but a gradual process that creeps up on you piece by piece until the weight of it all comes crashing down. It's a stealthy predator that sneaks up on its prey, often going unnoticed until it has you in its firm grip. Now let's unpack this a little bit. Picture yourself as a battery. Each day, you give out energy to your work, your relationships, and your responsibilities. At the end of the day, you recharge, ready to give out energy again the next day. But burnout happens when you keep draining energy without giving yourself the chance to recharge. You're running on empty, and yet you keep going. But burnout isn't just about energy, it's also about passion, motivation, and enthusiasm. It's like the color slowly draining from a vibrant painting, leaving it dull and lifeless. It's the slow extinguishing of that inner fire that once fueled your ambitions and dreams. Burnout is a multi-dimensional monster, manifesting in different forms. It can show up as physical symptoms like headaches or insomnia. It can appear as emotional exhaustion, turning even the simplest tasks into Herculean challenges. It can even cause cognitive challenges, making it difficult to focus or make decisions. But here's the thing, burnout isn't a life sentence. It's a signal, a wake-up call, telling you that something in your life needs to change, and it's your body and mind waving a red flag, urging you to pay attention and take action. Recognizing burnout is the first step towards healing. It's the moment you stop, look at the Jenga tower of your life, and decide that it's time to stop pulling out blocks and start rebuilding. Now, let's dive into the 30 signs of burnout so you can identify it and take action. The journey to recovery starts with awareness, and that's exactly where we're heading next. The first category of signs revolves around emotional exhaustion. Now, this is a term you've likely heard before, but what does it mean exactly? It's like waking up after a full night's sleep and still feeling tired. It's the feeling of being overwhelmed, drained, and just unable to cope with your day-to-day responsibilities. The first sign of emotional exhaustion is constant fatigue. You're always tired, no matter how much sleep you get. It's like you're running on fumes, and even the simplest tasks seem like Herculean challenges. The second sign is increased irritability. You're quicker to anger, snap at the smallest things, and find yourself in a bad mood more often than not. It's like you're walking around with a short fuse ready to blow at a moment's notice. The third sign is feelings of dread. You dread going to work, dread dealing with certain people, and dread facing the tasks you used to handle with ease. It's like a dark cloud hanging over your day, casting everything in a gloomy light. The fourth sign is a sense of detachment. You feel disconnected from your work, your relationships, and even from yourself. It's like you're going through the motions, but you're not really there. The fifth sign is a decrease in satisfaction and accomplishment. The things that used to bring you joy and a sense of achievement now feel empty and meaningless. It's like you're climbing a mountain, but the peak is always just out of reach. These are not just bad days or temporary bouts of stress. These are persistent feelings that seep into every aspect of your life, making it hard to function and enjoy the things you once loved. So, if you're feeling like you're stuck in a never-ending cycle of fatigue, irritability, dread, detachment, and dissatisfaction, it might be more than just a rough patch. If you're feeling emotionally drained, it might be a sign of burnout, but let's delve deeper. Burnout doesn't just affect your emotions, it manifests physically too. Our bodies are incredibly in sync with our minds. When we're emotionally exhausted, our bodies feel the impact. So let's dive into the next 5 signs of burnout, which primarily revolve around physical symptoms. First on the list is chronic fatigue. This isn't your typical end-of-the-day tiredness. It's a deep, bone-weary exhaustion that persists even after a good night's sleep. You wake up tired, spend your day tired, and go to bed tired. It's like a relentless cycle of tiredness that no amount of sleep seems to cure. Next, we have sleep disorders. You might find yourself tossing and turning at night, unable to fall asleep despite your exhaustion, or perhaps you're sleeping too much yet still waking up tired. This disrupted sleep pattern is another clear sign of burnout. Then there are the headaches, not the occasional headache you get from skipping a meal or not drinking enough water. We're talking about recurrent, persistent headaches that seem to have no obvious trigger. These headaches can range from a dull, throbbing pain to a sharp, piercing sensation that makes it hard to focus on anything else. Let's not forget about the muscle pain. You might experience unexplained aches and pains, particularly in your neck, shoulders, and back. The constant tension in these areas can make it difficult to relax, even when you're not at work. Lastly, we have digestive issues. Stress can wreak havoc on your digestive system, leading to issues like stomach pain, constipation, diarrhea, or a loss of appetite. All these physical symptoms can be extremely debilitating, affecting your quality of life and productivity. They are your body's way of sounding an alarm, signaling that something is not right. It's crucial to pay attention to these signs and not dismiss them as just being tired or stressed. Feeling physically drained can be a clear indication of burnout, but there's more. So stay tuned as we delve deeper into the other signs of burnout in the next segment. Remember, awareness is the first step towards recovery. Ever found it difficult to concentrate or remember things? It could be a sign of burnout. When we're talking about burnout, we often focus on physical fatigue and emotional exhaustion. But equally important, yet often overlooked, are cognitive challenges. These challenges can manifest in various ways, impacting our ability to function optimally at work, or even in our personal lives. Let's dive into the next 5 signs related to cognitive challenges that could be indicators of burnout. First on the list is lack of concentration. Ever found yourself reading the same paragraph over and over again, unable to grasp its meaning? Or maybe you're struggling to stay focused during meetings or conversations. This is more than just your typical distraction. It's a common symptom of burnout and can be incredibly frustrating, especially when deadlines are looming. Next, we have forgetfulness. If your memory seems to be playing tricks on you, it could be due to burnout. Forgetting important dates, tasks, or even conversations can cause stress and anxiety, further fueling the burnout cycle. Third on our list is decision-making difficulties. Burnout can make even the simplest decisions seem like monumental tasks. Whether it's deciding what to eat for lunch or making a critical business decision, burnout can cloud your judgment and make decision-making an uphill battle. Fourth, we have slowed down thinking. If it feels like your brain is trudging through mud, you're not alone. Burnout can slow down your cognitive processing speed, making it harder to think, plan, and solve problems. Lastly, we have mental fatigue. This is more than just feeling tired. It's a sense of being mentally drained, where even the smallest tasks seem to require Herculean effort. These cognitive challenges can significantly affect your productivity and relationships. It's essential to recognize these signs and take them seriously. They're not just a normal part of life or a sign of aging. They could be indicators of burnout, a serious issue that requires attention and care. So, the next time you're struggling to focus, remember something, or make a decision, consider whether burnout might be the cause, because understanding is the first step towards overcoming. Cognitive challenges can significantly affect your productivity and relationships. Your emotional health is a crucial part of your overall well-being, and burnout can take a toll on it. Diving into the realm of emotional signs, we uncover a series of indicators that often go unnoticed until they pile up into a mountain of distress. Starting off with a profound feeling of detachment. You may begin to feel disconnected from your work, your relationships, and even yourself. Like a boat adrift at sea, you might find yourself feeling isolated, as though you're floating through life rather than actively participating in it. Next, we have a significant decrease in enjoyment. Those activities that once brought you joy and fulfillment now feel like chores. Maybe your favorite book no longer holds your interest, or your passion for painting has dried up like the colors on your palette. The spark, the zest, the enthusiasm, they seem to have evaporated, leaving behind an empty void. Then there's increased irritability. Small annoyances that you could once brush off now feel like major disturbances. Perhaps the sound of a colleague's laughter grates on your nerves, or your patience wears thin at the slightest provocation. This heightened sensitivity is not just a passing phase, it's a telltale sign of emotional burnout. Moreover, you may find yourself trapped in a cycle of negative thinking. Optimism seems like a distant memory as pessimism takes the wheel, steering your thoughts towards a bleak horizon. The glass isn't just half empty, it feels shattered. Lastly, feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt may creep in. Despite your achievements, you might feel like you're not doing enough, or worse, that you're not enough. This sense of insufficiency can be crippling, undermining your confidence and self-esteem. All these signs paint a vivid picture of emotional distress, a canvas filled with shades of burnout. It's important to remember that these feelings are not your fault, nor do they define you. They are, however, a signal that something needs to change. If you're experiencing these signs, it might be time to take a step back and evaluate your situation. Changes in your behavior can be a strong indication of burnout. Burnout doesn't just affect us internally, it also manifests in our actions and interactions. One of the key signs is a withdrawal from responsibilities. This isn't your garden variety laziness or a momentary lapse in motivation. This is a persistent trend where you find yourself consistently avoiding tasks that you once handled with ease. You may start delegating more, postponing deadlines, or downright leaving tasks unfinished. Then there's isolation. You may find yourself avoiding social interactions, even the ones you used to enjoy. This could be because of the exhaustion burnout brings, or perhaps a subconscious attempt to avoid further stressors. It's not just about being introverted or needing some alone time. It's a significant shift where you're consistently choosing solitude over company. Procrastination is another telltale sign. It's not just about delaying tasks because you don't feel like it. It's a deeper issue where the thought of starting a task feels overwhelming, almost paralyzing. You keep pushing tasks to later, but later never seems to come. Some of you might be thinking, well, I've always been a bit of a procrastinator. Fair enough. But there's a stark difference between occasional procrastination and the chronic avoidance that burnout brings. It's like comparing a drizzle to a downpour. Also, let's not forget about sudden outbursts. Burnout can make us more susceptible to emotional volatility. You might find yourself snapping at colleagues, losing patience more quickly, or getting irrationally angry at minor inconveniences. Remember, these changes might not be drastic. They could creep in slowly, almost imperceptibly, like a shadow lengthening with the setting sun. But even small shifts can indicate a bigger problem brewing beneath the surface. So, if you notice these behavioral changes in yourself or someone you know, don't dismiss them as mere personality quirks or passing moods. They might be signals from your mind and body, telling you that it's time to pause, reassess, and take care. Behavioral changes can be subtle, but they are a significant sign of burnout. A shift in your attitude towards work, life, or relationships can be a red flag for burnout. This isn't just about feeling a little grumpy on a Monday morning. We're talking about a profound change in how you view your world. One of the most common attitude shifts is cynicism. It's like a fog that rolls in, coloring everything in a haze of negativity. You may find that you're more critical of others and less patient than you used to be. Perhaps you're even starting to question if what you do really matters. This cynicism can seep into every corner of your life, turning enjoyment into indifference, passion into apathy. The second sign is feeling unappreciated. You're working hard, putting in the hours, but it feels like nobody notices or cares. It's as if you're on a treadmill, running faster and faster, but never getting anywhere. This can lead to a sense of hopelessness, a feeling that no matter how hard you try, you're never going to make a difference. Then there's the lack of motivation. This isn't just about not wanting to get out of bed in the morning. It's about feeling uninspired, unenthused, and uninterested in things that used to light you up. You may find yourself dragging through the day, counting down the hours until you can escape. The fourth sign is a growing detachment from your work or personal life. You might start to distance yourself from colleagues, friends, or loved ones. This detachment can be a protective mechanism, a way to shield yourself from the pressures and demands that are causing you stress. Finally, you may start to feel like you're always underperforming. Even if you're meeting deadlines and hitting targets, you may have a nagging feeling that you're not doing enough, that you're always falling short. This can be incredibly demoralizing, sapping your confidence and self-esteem. These attitude shifts may seem normal, but they could be signaling a deeper issue. It's important to recognize them for what they are, signs of burnout. Paying attention to these changes can be the first step towards understanding and addressing burnout before it takes a toll on your health and happiness. Recognizing burnout is the first step towards addressing it. Picture this: you're on a boat, sailing in the vast ocean of life, and suddenly you notice a small leak. You ignore it, thinking it's too insignificant to pay attention to. But over time, the leak grows and the boat starts taking on water. Eventually, you find yourself in a sinking ship. This is what happens when we ignore the signs of burnout. It starts small, then it grows, and before we know it, we're sinking. The 30 signs of burnout we've been discussing are like those small leaks. Ignoring them won't fix the problem, it will only make it worse. That's why recognizing these signs is incredibly crucial. It's not just about identifying that something is wrong. It's about acknowledging that there's a problem that needs to be addressed. Just like you wouldn't ignore a physical ailment, you shouldn't ignore emotional or mental exhaustion either. It's essential to take these signs seriously and not dismiss them as just a part of life or work. We often tend to normalize burnout, thinking that it's just part of the package that comes with working hard or being in a relationship. But let's clear this up right here, right now. Burnout is not normal. Recognition is a powerful tool. It's the moment when you stop and say, hey, something's not right here. That's when the journey towards healing and recovery begins. It's when you start taking steps to mend those leaks in your boat before it starts sinking. Remember, burnout doesn't just affect your work life or your relationships. It affects you, your health, your happiness, your overall well-being. And you, my friend, are important. You matter. Your well-being matters. So take the time to recognize the signs of burnout. Listen to what your body and mind are telling you. You're not just a machine that can keep going without any maintenance or care, and don't shy away from seeking help. It's okay to ask for assistance. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to prioritize yourself, because at the end of the day, you are your most important asset. Remember, ignoring burnout won't make it go away. Ignoring burnout isn't a life sentence. You can overcome it. This statement might sound like a tall order, especially when you're in the thick of it. Yet, it's the truth. Burnout, despite its crippling effects, can be conquered. It's not about magically erasing fatigue or stress, but about adopting strategies that promote balance and well-being. One of the first steps towards overcoming burnout is acceptance. It's acknowledging that you're not invincible and that it's okay to feel overwhelmed. Acceptance isn't a sign of weakness. It's a testament to your strength and self-awareness. Next, prioritize self-care. It's not a luxury, but a necessity. This can take the form of adequate rest, regular exercise, or a balanced diet. Maybe it's a hobby that brings you joy or a quiet moment of meditation each day. Self-care is about replenishing your energy and nurturing your well-being. Also, set boundaries. It's about understanding that your time, energy, and resources are finite. Learn to say no when necessary. It's not about being selfish, but about preserving your mental, emotional, and physical health. Furthermore, you need to reconnect with what truly matters to you. Burnout often stems from feeling disconnected or unfulfilled. So ask yourself, what brings meaning to your life? What are your passions? Reconnecting with these aspects can reignite your motivation and help you overcome burnout. Building a support network is also crucial. Surround yourself with those who uplift and understand you. Don't hesitate to lean on them when things get tough. Remember, it's okay to ask for help. Lastly, and perhaps most importantly, seek professional help if burnout persists. Therapists, counselors, and coaches are equipped with the tools and expertise to help you navigate your way out of burnout. Don't view seeking help as a sign of defeat, but as a step towards victory. Overcoming burnout is a journey, not a sprint. It requires patience, effort, and compassion towards oneself. So, in this journey of recovery, take care of yourself, you're worth it. And remember, it's okay to ask for help.